Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Standard Time, on this beautiful Tuesday, the 7th of August, 2018. Looking at a whole slew of fun stuff going on today and kind of going on from yesterday as well. Just be aware that we have big changes coming and happening, so, excuse me. Be on the lookout for that. Additionally, if you hear any banging and clanging, it's because some contractors here working in my basement, because if any of you are Forex Lens customers, you know I've been complaining about all the rain we've had that has totally destroyed my basement. Usually, I like to do things on my own in my house, but there comes a point when you got to hire the professionals and have them come over because the project is just way too big for me to do. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the current conditions of our markets. We've got, looking at, where do we go? There we are. So if you remember last week, we went over something called the relative rotation graph, and that's what this is. So I took all the cryptocurrencies that are available with Optima, and this is the rotation system using a price-weighted average. So it's basically taking all of these instruments, kind of averaging them out together like an ETF would do, or like creating a weight structure according to each instrument and forming an index out of it. So if we were rating each of these against the entire pool, that's what this would look like. And for right now, we can see some things happening. So if real quick rundown, when we see things in the improving category, that means that they're probably coming off of a low or a high, and that they're going to transition. Actually, they're coming off of a low, and that they're going to transition into a higher price zone. So when we look at things like Ethereum Classic, Ripple, Neo, Monero, Litecoin, we can see that they're actually outperforming the rest of its peers. And if we look below, and certainly Ethereum Classic, they're running the saw right now. On Cardano, the thing that we're looking at is we want to see Cardano start to gain some strength against its peers, because with the exception of XLM or Stellar Lumens, Cardano right now has the best upside potential when compared to the rest of these. The ones that we should be looking at considering selling are things like Ethereum Classic, Ripple. IOTA certainly is like turning south right now. In fact, we'll look at some of those charts here in a second, but things that still have potential to catch a bid for us are Dash, Bitcoin Gold, Next, not Bitcoin Cash, I hate it. But otherwise, we have a lot of these guys ready. And in the entirely lagging category, we have ZCash and Stellar Lumens all the way back here. So XLM right now is probably one of the best long condition trades we have currently, if we're going to look at everything out here. Okay, I want to talk about Ethereum Classic. So this is called Ethereum Classic and the Coinbase 5. And the Coinbase 5 are the 5 coins that almost a month ago, in a week it'll be about a month, almost a month ago we heard that Coinbase was considering adding a few other instruments to its platform. And that was Cardano, Basic Attention Token, Stellar Lumens, ZCash, and I forgot what the other one was. I forget. Again, I apologize for the noise, but that is what we've got going on here. The reason why you should be adding a lot of these into your portfolio, okay, because we're we're just looking at a big deal happening. Okay, Coinbase itself is it's the most important exchange, even though it doesn't have a lot of the same offerings as Binance, Bittrex, Kraken, or Poloniex, OKCoin, whatever. Coinbase has something that the others don't, and that's custodianship. That may not sound like a big deal to the layman, but it is a huge deal, okay? Because I'm going to keep repeating that until something happens. It's a huge deal. Any crypto that has custodianship is going to be considered quote-unquote safe for professional fund money, okay? Like the assets are secure against theft and all that jazz. You know, fiduciaries can come in and participate, although I highly doubt they're ever going to come in this market now. But again, Coinbase may not have the same volume and the number of offerings as other exchanges, but that doesn't matter because Coinbase is the single most important entity for the buying and selling of cryptocurrencies out there. And when something gets listed on that site, it grows exponentially. Okay, the fact that a great many of these coins are still in the doldrums is just a crazy buying opportunity. And what are those coins? Again, Cardano, Basic Attention Tokens, Stellar Lumens, OX, and ZCash. Now, Cardano, reason I'm very bullish on Cardano. So let's say I had like $100 or whatever. Doesn't matter what kind of money you have. If it's just you know, God, that is loud, isn't it? Really sorry about this, but so it doesn't matter. Let's say you have a lump of money you want to invest in those Coinbase 5. Okay, so how would you allocate it? Well, what I've done is I've put 30% of it into Cardano because that's really the next generation, and 20% into Basic Attention Token because that's new advertising. Stellar Lumens, XLM, I have 20% into that because that's new banking. ZRX or ZRX OX, whatever you want to call it. I only have 12% of that because it's just a platform, and I don't think anything's really that fantastic about it. And then ZEC, I only have 8% of an exposure in there because it's a privacy coin, and it's got huge regulation issues that it would face. So that's the reason why I have that over there. Now, looking at a lot of these, regardless, these things are not yet on Coinbase, and not all of them may end up on Coinbase, but I can see 3 of them definitely being on Coinbase, and that is Cardano, Basic Attention Token, and Stellar Lumens. That is or Stellaris, or it's not Stellaris, that's a video game. Stellar Lumens. That is a fantastic collection of currencies. And when something like that, when that news came out, if that news would have come out like during the last fall, this would have been massive. We would have had a huge drive up in value. We would have had a massive, like exponential 20x gain. But we don't have that right now. And that's fine because all we were looking at are great buying opportunities. And so we got to keep that in mind. The other thing we want to look at is Ethereum Classic. And you've probably seen it jump up. It's probably no news to anybody that it's going to be listed on Coinbase. In fact, if you go to Coinbase Pro, you will see that Ethereum Classic is actually listed on there as you like they're letting you transfer a thing. Okay, well maybe I should just kind of go over this real quick. So what they're doing is Ethereum Classic, ETC, it's launching first on Coinbase Pro. And then what they're going to do is they're going to wait until there's enough coins over there. So they're going to wait for people to bring over enough coins so that there's sufficient liquidity. And then they are going to see us being able to trade it normally, okay? So They said that there's 4 stages that they're going through according to their blog, where there's transfer only, so customers will only be able to transfer Ethereum Classic beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Tuesday, August 7th. Traders cannot place orders, and no orders will be filled on these order books. Order books will be in transfer mode only for 24 to 48 hours, okay? And then post only. So in the second stage, customers can post limit orders, but there will be no matches or completed orders. The order books will be in post-only mode for a minimum of 10 minutes. All right? So this is actually really kind of exciting stuff. And then limit only. In the third stage, limit orders will start matching, but customers are unable to submit market orders. The order books will be in limit-only mode for a minimum of 10 minutes, and then the full trading starts. So what we're really looking at is with this week, we will be seeing a new crypto coin being traded on Coinbase. Okay, so the dollar Ethereum Classic and the Euro Ethereum Classic will be there, and you know, it'll be exciting. So if there's probably enough coins that Coinbase themselves have to provide sufficient liquidity, and so they're just wanting to make sure that this rolls out smoothly. So, more than likely by Friday we should see Ethereum Classic being traded on Coinbase and being bought and sold. So that should be very exciting for all of us. It has sold off quite a bit. If we're looking at the chart here, we got all the way up to around $21, and now we have traded down about $2.70 lower. We're trading at $18.38. Pretty normal. I mean, this is a typical sell the news. Right as the news comes out that's happening, people want to take some profit. That's fine, because all that does is create some buying opportunity for us here, and we should be looking forward to that. Actually, this current zone is a pretty good buying entry zone. Again, if you're coming in here and you're listening to this for the live stream and you hear some banging around, it's because I have contractors here, and so apologize for that. So Ethereum Classic is doing its thing. We have also a lot of movement in Bitcoin itself. We're seeing some activity. We are hovering around. We talked about this last week, if you remember. We were talking about Bitcoin's movement and how it could probably come down to that 7,000 value area. That is definitely what we are seeing have happen here. We are seeing these markets come down, and if I look at this, it's pretty cool to watch where we've stopped kind of trading lower is that 6,900 value area. This is a pivot zone. This is a pivot price area, so it's normal to see prices want to come down here and find some support. That's also on a 2x1 Gann angle. So we do have some supportive price action here as we're moving forward, and we should be looking at the beginning of a pretty nice ride in this move. If we look at the daily chart here, this is actually kind of the nice thing, is that we've had a bottom forming in the stochastic RSI. Now we're sloping up, because on the daily we are currently trading up. And yesterday's volume, Sunday actually had quite a bit of volume, quite a bit of selling volume, and then today we've had we're like just a little over half of that volume, but we haven't really been able to push any higher. It'll be interesting to see if we actually do close above that 7,000 handle for the day. I think that may happen. That may work out just fine. If not, I mean, realistically, we're still in a range trade between 10 and 5,500. I mean, we're really not changed much over the last 5 months. Yeah, so we've been in this range. Not a lot to write home about there, but we are. I mean, we're in an official consolidation, official accumulation zone, and so now we should be looking to see prices rally higher as we get into the fall, and we'll see our fall pump as we usually do, and so that should be an exciting thing for us to watch. I'm actually gonna cut the stream short here today because of all the activity. I will talk with the contractors tomorrow and see if we can't work their lunch break into this stream time. Otherwise, again, the Coinbase 5 we want to keep. So like we got the Cardano, basic attention token, Stellar X. So BAT, ADA, XLM. Actually, I'll type those out here. So we want ADA, Coinbase 5 for long-term holds. ADA, BAT, XLM, ZRX, ZEC. Those are the long-term holds. So whatever kind of amount of money you have that you may want to put into those 5, divvy it out into certain percentages, and so like those percentages, again, I have ADA 30%, BAT 20%, XLM 20%, ZRX 12%, and ZEC 8%. I think those are good conservative values. Some people may argue about the ZEC, but it's a privacy coin, and it's not that I don't like it. I like ZCash. ZCash is great. I'm a huge, I'm a classical liberal in the economic sense and in the political sense. So, I don't know why somebody has to know that I did a transaction except between me and another party. And then there's always people say, well, it could be used for terrorism. Yeah, I mean, the dollar's been used for terrorist activity for quite a while too, but that doesn't stop us from using cash to transact, to buy things without somebody knowing that the transaction happened. So I don't buy into that bullshit. Pardon my French. I don't think it's the government's or anybody else's business how I conduct my business. If they suspect there has been some illegal activity, then there's routes for that. There's a court system that you do. But just because you think it might happen or that it does happen doesn't mean that the great majority of people who transact business need to be stifled because of that. And that's my rant on there. But Zcash, just from a regulatory standpoint and from a there's not a lot of, there's nothing about it right now that makes me scream this is going to be something everybody that the regulators are going to be okay with, and that's just that. So what we have to pay attention to is that as far as a percentage of holding profile, that 8% in ZEC is I think an adequate amount. ZRX again at 12%. ZRX it's another platform coin. I think it's got a lot of competition with some others, and that's why I have ADA sitting at 30% of that portfolio, because Cardano represents that third generation and the next iteration. They actually have a proven proof of stake fix, and they're very soon coming out with everything should be ready to go, I believe, at quarter Q3 Q4. We'll see. And then again, basic attention token. Look these up, do your own due diligence, but basic attention token is a advertising token that is a... Oh, hold on one sec. What's up? All right. Okay. So we've got basic attention tokens, really neat. I encourage you to check that out because they've got it's an advertising. So this is a utility based coin. It's focusing on making sure that people who are getting targeted for advertising and advertisers themselves, making sure that everything's really on the first page they kind of let you know that how much money is wasted in the advertising to target a potential customer or to have even target the audience, how much money is wasted in it. So, that's an issue. And then XLM is like banking 3.0. I think it's absolutely fascinating. It's definitely going to change. It could definitely change how we do loans, how we do borrowing. I think it's phenomenal. I don't know how that works into the regulatory side of things, but just from it's cool stuff. So there's a lot of great things out there to take a peek at, but definitely the Coinbase 5. They announced these 5 for a reason. And again, Coinbase doesn't just pick the ones that are in the top 10, okay? There's a reason that some of these were picked, okay? And I think you need to do your due diligence and figure out if these are appropriate for you or not. But I think that they are an amazing thing to hold on to for the long term. And as we get into the next bull phase, these are naturally going to be the coins that get the superficial pumps from the people taking advantage of new traders, where they're going to like, Stellar Lumens, the new banking, it's going to kill Wells Fargo. You're just going to get a whole bunch of people eating it up, and it's just going to drive up even higher than the entire market. These 5 coins are going to lead in performance during the next bull run. They just will. So we got to be aware of that, pay attention to that, and get into them early, because this is the time to get into them and to hold on to them until we get into the next bull phase here. So anyways, again, I'm going to cut this short a little bit because of the contractors. I'm going to get I'm going to talk to them about the 1 o'clock time period and see if that's something that we can arrange to work around. Yesterday was a Canadian holiday. So yeah, again, Ethereum Classic, really quick. I think it's still worth picking up. I think any Ethereum Classic under $50 is a good buy entry. Are we going to suffer some swings here? Definitely. Yeah. But anything that's going to, I mean, real quick, Ethereum Classic, we take a peek here. If we look at the daily, okay, this is a massive amount of volume here showing a really ugly candle. However, what kind of a drop is that? That's a 13% drop from the high of the day to the low, 13%. I'm a buyer at anything greater than 10% down. To me that's fine. I'm okay with that. Because once the volume, the thing, like, volume equates with price. So the more volume, the higher the price, and generally. And Ethereum going on to Coinbase, Ethereum Classic going on to Coinbase, that's a big freaking deal. And so if there is a sell-off here, if there's a flash crash of some sort, that is just some institutional manipulation. I don't talk about manipulation a lot, mainly because I don't think it needs to be talked about, because you just have to recognize that it is a part of the market, and that short-term major price fluctuations do happen in every market, and manipulation is just a name given to. Most people say things are manipulated like that because they can't figure out another reason to explain it. But crypto markets are extremely easy to manipulate, and yeah, so if we do get some low-term price manipulation, that's the time to participate in the buying. So if we get some type of flash crash, I've actually got resting buy orders at 14, 12, and 10. Yeah, 14, 12, and 10. I've got resting buy orders. So if there is some type of weird flash crash, I hope to get hit with those limit buys and get in early again. So anyways, great trading opportunities in front of us here, getting a little bit of a bid here on some of these, and we should look forward to them continuing to move higher here in the future. So again, hope you guys had a great trade day yesterday. Hope your trade week has gone well so far. Take it easy, and I will see you all tomorrow afternoon. Bye-bye.